Hello, and welcome to another edition of Conscious Connections, where we explore soul centered conversations that awaken truth, inspire healing, and remind us of our divine power. I am your host, Dr. Deborah Carson, the creator of the Fear to Freedom Project. And I love to sit down with beautiful souls who are transforming lives through their gifts, their stories, and their wisdom. And today's guest is Rikki Van Brackle, an energetic medicine woman, joy activator, author, and founder of the Free Woman Method. After
Mhm.
nearly 2 decades of serving as an NYPD officer, including work in the domestic violence unit, a life changing injury shifted the entire course of Rikki's journey, leading her into healing, embodiment, ancestral remembrance, and sacred transformation. Now, rooted in Costa Rica, Rikki guides Black and Brown women back to themselves through trauma informed healing, energetic alignment, ritual, breath, and embodied freedom. Welcome, sister! So glad you're here. I'm so glad that you are here. You are the joy activator. That is true because as soon as you came into the studio, all of this joy just came through. And I feel it already. I've sat with Mama Cacao this morning, so my heart is very open. And I'm just ready to dig right into this conversation. So, the first question I want to ask you is what are you most excited about in life right now?
Well, I am so very excited to be here in Raleigh, North Carolina right now. I am
You
on a
are?
spirit. I am coming to you live from the hotel motel Holiday Inn in Raleigh. I am on a spirit led mission. I am here for the Darkness Rising 9. It is a Black party hosted by Darkness Rising, which is a nonprofit owned by Carlita, and she supports the empowerment of Black people for their mental wellness. She has a directory of mental health practitioners for the Black and Brown community. So I am here for their Black party on Saturday, tomorrow. I will have a wellness table. I will be delivering ear acupuncture and hula hooping and activating joy to the people. I'll be in the kids zone. So we're about to have a whole bunch of fun.
That is so exciting. And had I known that, I
Yes.
probably would be sitting right there in Raleigh right now. We would be doing this live together because I am just 2 hours away from you, 2.5.
Oh, are
I'm in
you?
Charlotte. Yes, I'm in Charlotte.
Okay.
I did not even know that. That is so cool. So cool. So
Yes.
good.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have this conversation with you. And I saw you
Oh,
on
it's
my
11:11,
sister's.
y'all. It's
Yes.
11:11.
I love those numbers, and we're gonna get into that too because I purchased your ancestral angel book of
Oh my
numbers, and
gosh,
because
thank you.
of of course I did, of course I did, because numbers have been following me for some years, and now I just don't even see anything outside of like these angel ancestral numbers, and so I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this book. Which was very, very good for me. So I'm going to kind of dig right in to respect your time. I know that you spent 2 decades as a New York police department officer. And so
Yes.
before your life shifted into something even more crazy, but absolutely well deserved. And but looking back now, do you feel like your soul was kind of prepping you for this path? Because I'm gonna say I spent almost 30 years working as a social worker and connecting, of course, and working alongside collaborating with Charlotte Police Department, the
Mm,
DC Police Department, because I'm from Washington,
mm.
DC, and that's where my practice first started. So
Okay.
when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, I have been midwifing communities and people
Yes,
all
yes,
of
yes,
my
yes.
entire career and thinking
Yes.
that I was a social worker, but I'm really a light worker. So do you feel
Yes,
like
yes,
your soul was always being prepared for this path?
yes. thank you for that question and thank you for your service. Absolutely. I spent 17 years, 2 months, and 25 days as an NYPD officer. I started when I was 22 years old, and
Mm,
I always found ways to make the job my own, whether it was activating joy within the police department, with the children, or with the elders. I too feel like I was a doula of some sort, a midwife of some sort. But
absolutely.
to be in a position, an entrusted position by the community, right? And then being able to hold sensitive information, also to be able to see certain things that most people don't want to see. They don't want to see, they don't want to hear, they don't even want to deal with. And yet
Yeah.
they call me and I show up, and I must show up with an open heart and being compassionate and not even knowing that that's what the job was. I was just 22. I had no idea. I had
Yeah.
no idea what I signed up for. Not and
Mm.
looking back, now the path that I'm on, Spirit guided me so gracefully, so gently. Although I was injured in the line of duty, I made it out alive, and I'm very grateful. And I have all these tools. I have all these sacred tools in my toolbox right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
do.
Thank you
Mhm.
for your service. Are you kidding
Thank
me? And
you.
I am so glad that you did make it out of that. I have a childhood friend who went to the police department, and she eventually became a homicide detective, and just
Mhm.
some of the things that she has seen, I thought I
Mhm.
saw horrific stuff, and we both have, because even working as a social worker for child protection, I've seen a lot of horrific things done to children, and so I just had
Mm.
this insatiable urge and compelling to save children. And now I know
Mhm.
from a past life regression that I was an abused child myself. And so
Mhm.
this urge and this nature for me to save children has just kind of probably always been there. And so I want to talk about survival, because I feel like I before my spiritual awakening, and even, in some instances after, I feel like I've been surviving. I've been connecting with or operating from this survival type of consciousness. Survival not to hurt someone else, but just this is, I got to survive for me, right? And so at what point did you realize survival wasn't enough for you? That you wanted and you deserved, and it's your birthright. Liberation is your birthright. When did that happen?
Wow. When did that happen? That happened when I decided I had had enough with the addictions. The pain in my body was just overwhelming. And that was like a pimple that was just, okay, I need some type of relief. And I knew that what I was feeling, um, deserve some attention. So there was a whole bunch of things that had happened. I had gotten injured in the line of duty, and my spine was damaged, and I said I
Right.
need something different. I need to choose myself here. And I knew that I had to have a spinal surgery. And everyone told me, "No, don't do it. Are you crazy?" And I says, "I'm going to do it. I'm going to choose myself here." I was also drinking a lot, and I knew that had to change. So once I decided to choose myself and my health first, that's when things started to change for me. As soon as I made that decision, and then once I had the surgery, I was removed from the life, my everyday life, being in the precincts, being around my coworkers and certain people, being in the bar 5 days a week. I was home in the safety of my room, those four walls. And that's when the magic started happening once I was
Yeah.
in that cocoon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that, I understand that.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
so you now are focused on guiding women back to their bodies, and I just have to say I love that so much because I didn't even think about how much I have lived sort of outside of my body, not even
Yes.
connecting to it, really
Yeah.
not even paying attention to it. And it wasn't
Mhm.
until I started going to yoga that, yeah, that's where it started. And I remember doing yoga. Let's see, I will be 60 this year. I
Woo!
remember doing yoga. Yeah,
Oh, no, that's right.
yes. And so I remember doing it when in my 20s, probably like 24. It was hot yoga, and I was just like, "Oh my god," it was just so hard in there, like, "I'm never doing it again," and I never did it again, and then I started around 56 years old, 57, when I came back from living in Panama, and so when I got back here, I started yoga, and I have to tell you, 3 years into to this, it has changed my entire life. It really hasn't changed. It has calmed my nervous system. It has taught me
Mhm.
how to connect to my own body, to care for my soul's vehicle, to slow down, to
Mhm.
be quiet, that it's okay to be quiet. So it was yoga and meditation. I can't leave out meditation.
Yes.
Yeah. So why do you think that so many of us, Black and brown women, have become disconnected from our bodies in the first beginning?
Well, because we've been ripped out of them, literally from the motherland. From the motherland, we were ripped from the soil that we
Mm,
come from. We were ripped from our families. We were purposely made to forget who we are. And who we are is as a people is we are connected to each other. We are connected to our vessel. Our vessel is connected to the earth, to the sun, to the moon, to the rain, to the trees, to the animals. And we
yes.
were made to forget. But this is natural. This is natural for us to dance, to sway, to hum when we're walking through the aisles of the supermarket or standing there online or as we're typing something or as we see someone and say, "Hey girl, how you doing?" Whatever it is, for us to acknowledge each other, that is innate for us. And we were made to forget. And that's why
Yes.
it's important for us to be thoughtful and set the mission to reconnect with ourselves. It's very important.
So what do you say for people who, because I was raised through Christianity, right? I was conditioned through that, though my mother was very intelligent. And so she was a seeker of knowledge. And so she taught me about the Book of Life, which is the Akashic Records. She took me to my first past life regression meditation. I didn't even know, I'm just following my mother. When we were in Washington, D.C., we used to go to First Sundays. That was something that Yala Van Zant created before, a long time. I was in my 20s. And so every first Sunday, we would go up and they would talk about ancestral divination and being connecting to your lineage. And so I've been following my mother around. She gave me my first book of ND. So this was even back when we were conditioned through Christianity.
What's
However, she
ND?
was still seeking a near death experience. Yeah. So someone who has, made a connection with the other side. They may have died through an accident, or they've come out of their body and they've come back to tell us, right? And
Woof!
so yeah, so that was the first time that I even heard of an NDE. But if we actually go back to the Wizard of Oz, it was Dorothy who had the first
Mm.
NDE because she was teaching us about that then. But so, I've had these little pockets of information. I know that now my mom probably is, one of the guides who has, of course, agreed to give me these pockets of information. And so now I'm at this place where it's just like, oh my God, everything makes sense. But when I talk about
Mm.
ancestors to some people, it seems that they are still in the under the illusion that, uh, first, they're dead, and that secondly, you don't talk to the dead. You're disturbing
Mm.
them, and you're doing all of these things. So, what do you say about that? Because you're an ancestral connector. I'm an ancestral connector. So, what do you say to people who have that limited awareness about our
Mm.
ancestors?
Limited awareness. Wow. Thank you for that question. Thank you for, wow. What do I say to people who have that limited viewpoint? Well, I tell them it's just simply not true. It's just simply not true. It's
Mhm.
literally, and I always give them the example of the movie Ghost when Patrick Swayze's character, Sam, I believe, was murdered on the street. And then all of a sudden you see his body there, and then you see his soul outside of his body standing there looking down at it like, my goddess. And then he sees his love with and he's like, I'm here. And he doesn't know what's what. And I kind of describe it like that they're literally right here. Their energy, it does not die. The body dies, the vessel dies, it decomposes. However, we are beings of light, our souls are, and it just keeps living on and on forever. We can
Yeah.
change the vessel, we can change the energy, and but it's still there forever and ever and ever. Yeah.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about that too, Ricky, is that what I learned, and this is exactly what NDEers, talk about when they leave their
Yes.
body. They are like, "What in the world? Like, that's
Yes.
me." And once they go on with their experience. But what's so beautiful about this is that your ancestors love you. And
Yeah.
they are standing by to connect with you,
Mhm.
but they
Yes, they
will not
are.
push you, because they don't want this to be a scary experience because it could be very jarring. But we're just remembering once you do connect with your ancestors, you do start to remember who you
Yes.
are. You start to
Yes.
literally remember yourself. Call the parts of you that
Yes.
have been dropped off all over the universe, and you start to remember yourself. Don't you feel like that?
Absolutely. Before we got on this call, I was in this bed on a shamanic journey with my mom. I made that heart mission to reconnect with my mom. She came to me in my dreams last night, and I was like,
Mm,
"Okay, mom, I'm going to do shamanic journey today, and I'm going to reconnect with you." And we literally were riding in her red Mercedes. She was driving, I was in the passenger seat, and she is showing me different parts of my life where I witnessed domestic violence in my
yeah.
family between my parents. And she was thanking me for being there.
Mm.
And she was asking me to reclaim those parts of myself from witnessing, those acts of violence, and picking them up and patching myself and saying, thank you. I love you. You were chosen for this. And yeah,
That's
yeah.
so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I feel your heart. I feel so much compassion for you because I understand that, working in that field
Mhm.
as well, but being a survivor of DV.
Yeah.
That is me,
Yeah.
so that experience is a very traumatizing experience that can have lasting effects even
Yes.
afterwards. So this work of remembering, of reclaiming yourself, of getting
Reclaiming.
quiet, yes, and
Yes.
connecting to your own sovereignty and divinity and healing and connecting to the little
Yes.
girl, the teenage girl, the young adult,
Yes.
those parts of
Yes.
you that experienced it. So this work is very important. I'm so glad that you hear the free woman method. I like that. That
The
just
free
makes me
woman
feel
method.
yeah, because on the other side of what you're going through is freedom. And that's what the
Mhm.
Fear to Freedom Project is all about. I am the Fear to Freedom Project. It is me, no
Mhm.
one else. And so whenever I was in Panama, that came to me like you're moving from fear into freedom. I didn't even know what it was or what it meant. I was just like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know I lived a life of fear, but how is freedom connected to that? So what inspired you to create that, the free woman method? Like, what
Mhm.
does being a free woman truly, truly mean to you?
Okay, so I created the Free Woman Project
Mm,
and the Free Woman
Free Woman
Method.
Project. I'm sorry.
Yes, that's fine. The Free Woman Project was created first. Well, actually, what was created first? The Free Woman Method is what I do, right? Every day, the things that I do to assist myself on my freedom path. That consists of movement, that consists of breath work, that consists of dancing, hula hooping, prayer, sacred instruments, connecting with nature, getting quiet, yoga. That is my method. That's what I use to assist other people. And the Free Woman Project came to me from my mother's mother. When I was in Dallas, she came through. I was in a bathtub and Goddess Jessie was praying over me. We were doing a whole bunch of magic. And my grandmother, Queen Esther Townsend, came through Goddess Jessie and said, "You need to start a nonprofit." And I'm in the bathtub looking at Goddess Jessie. I said, "Well, what the hell is a nonprofit?" I was a police. I literally just retired 2 weeks ago, and I had no idea what it. I said, "What's a nonprofit?" She says, "You got to start a nonprofit." I got back to New York. I contacted a lawyer. I said, I have to start a nonprofit. She says, "Okay, well, you need a name and you need 3 members for a board." Like, what the hell is a board? I said, whatever. I picked my best friend. I picked my two best friends and my father to put on the freaking board. Cause I don't know. No, and then myself, I think I'm on the board. So my two best friends and myself. And then she's like, "All right, well, you need a name." And I said, the Free Woman Project. Because at that
Oh.
time, it was an everyday process telling myself, "Rikki, you're free. Rikki, you're free. You're free. You're free." And then I got stickers made, "Rikki is free," with the Free Woman Project. So that is my method. What I do every single day is the Free Woman Method.
Mhm,
Movement, ancestral reconnection, breath work, getting quiet, being in nature, telling the truth,
mhm,
speaking my truth, being seen
mm.
is the Free Woman Method. That is who I am. I was born to be seen. I was born to be heard. I was born with a light and a message. And being able to share that with you, with the world, is what freedom means to me.
Yes.
Traveling freely,
Yeah.
healing out in public,
Yes.
dancing in public. That is freedom. Shaking my ass in the airport is freedom. Yeah.
I love that. I love that because I do watch you. I follow you on Instagram. I don't even know.
Oh,
I think
thank you.
I was following you before I saw you on my girlfriend's podcast, my goddess sister, Sheila. I was
Thank
following you
you.
before then. Yeah, because one day
Oh,
you were shaking and you were dancing and it was like so carefree. So I was like,
mm,
hmm, I want to do that one day, because I was still hiding behind my fear of not being
mm,
seen. And
yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask you, like, out of the 6 pillars of your work, which one of the pillars do you feel like women struggle with the most? Because the one for me, I know I struggled with, like, I think being seen and in a way that expresses all of this divinity because I
Yes,
didn't
divinity.
yeah, I didn't know about it, but now it seems it's becoming very natural to me, and it's like my remembrance is coming back, so it doesn't matter if someone likes it or not. I think sometimes we struggle
Mhm.
with wanting to be accepted, you know,
Yeah,
by other
yeah.
people. What do you think women struggle with the most?
I agree. It's being seen. It's being
Mm.
seen, it's being heard, it's being perceived by her over there or him over there, or just that internal. It's that internal, first of all, that really gets you fucked up. Can I curse here?
You can curse all
Okay.
the yes.
It's really that internal voice that is our first blockage. You know what I mean? From all the conditioning. You said earlier the word conditioning. So that's really what it is. It's being seen and perceived. Well, if I do this, what are they going to think? And who the hell is they, first of all?
Yeah,
Who the hell is they, and
yeah.
why do you care? However, it's been this programming that women have to be nice and quiet and polite and don't say too much and don't wear that, that's too short, don't wear that, that's too pink, that's too many colors,
Mm.
don't, that's too tight, or that's too baggy, or what the fuck ever. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
you were put here to um take care of others, to be a mom, to be a wife, to be in the kitchen, to be home, to be whatever. We were sold this bag, and we bought this bag willing, right? Because we all have free will. So we collectively decided that this is what we're going to do, that we're going to put ourselves into these boxes. We're going to say, okay, all right, well, this is the best you got, this box.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Well, oh, okay. I guess so. Open the box, we get in, and then we're in this box, but we're not.
yeah,
It don't even feel good. We're stars. I'm a star. I don't fit
yeah,
in a box. You know, you're a
yeah.
heart. You don't fit into a box. You know, so it is that when you get to a point where it's like, okay, this box is really uncomfortable. I've been in here for 40 years,
Ah,
and I'm about ready to get the fuck out of here. So you know what? Let me open up this box and get myself out of here. Wow. Look at this. I'm a star. I'm a star. I'm in this box for 40. And then it's like, okay, well, now that I'm out, what now?
yeah,
Look at
what
that
next?
star over there. Look at that star. What is she? Who? Why does she look like that? And then I have a choice, right? Do I want to get back in the box? It's because over there, they're like, what's that star doing out there? Do I want to get back in the box? Or do I want to be out here like, I'm, I'm a star, baby. I'm a star. Look at me. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. So it is that fear of being seen, heard, and perceived that I feel
Yeah.
that most women deal with. Yeah.
That's really beautiful. I feel activated by what you're saying. This is helping me. Every guest that comes to the Fear to Freedom Project is, I say for me, is for the greater good of all, whoever comes
Mhm.
across this recording, but it is for my growth and expansion, and I know that. And what you said is that we put ourselves in this box. And by the way, I think every woman right now would agree with me. I don't know, but this is the reason why the world is so fucked up is because it has been male dominated. And so it is absolutely time for the goddess to rise up, right? And for the divine feminine to take the leadership in this experience that we're all having here. But what you said is that we get into this box,
Mhm.
and even if the box is uncomfortable, is tight, part of your shoulder is like sticking out of the box. What we do is we normalize that. That becomes our normal way of existing, taking care of others, neglecting ourselves, not embodying our truth, but embodying the truth of whoever it is that you're caring for. And just taking a back seat to it. And so yeah, and then sometimes you are in that box for decades, like you said, decades. And when you
Decades.
finally spring out of that box like a beautiful butterfly, you're like, like all of this excitement, like, what is it? And you don't know how to integrate it, to kind of, process it, to embody it. And
Mm,
so that's what our beautiful Rikki is here to support you with. So I just wanted to put a plug in. So, in the show notes, you will see how to work with her, like how to use this free woman method, right?
yes.
How to be free, because we
Be
just
free.
don't know that our freedom is like sitting right next to us on the shoulder saying, yeah, yeah, you could be free. You got this. You can do
Girl,
this.
the button's right there. Push the button. The box will pop open, and
Yeah.
then you could be like, what?
Yeah. Yes.
What? There's a
I
whole
love it.
lot,
I love it.
whole lot. Holy,
I love it,
you
babe.
got puppies over there? What the? Let me get the hell out of here.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
you can choose.
Yeah.
You can choose. You can choose something different. And it's
Yeah.
okay that you've been in the box for 40 years. I was in the box for 40
Yes.
years. God
Yeah.
damn. And now I'm
Yes.
free. I'm out and I'm here. I'm here. I've been chosen to lead the free woman path, to
Mhm.
show people what I do on a daily basis to
Mhm.
remain free, to be my true, authentic self. It's what I
Mhm.
do. So
Yeah.
come along with me. I'll show you. I'll show you what I do. And
Yeah.
we'll have some
And
fun
then
doing it.
you know what? You can create your own method. You don't have to. Like, these are things that we do for ourselves. Like me, just before coming to our recording, I love to sit with cacao. It's a beautiful medicine, and
Mm,
it helps me to connect to my body, to myself,
mhm.
and to be grounded. And I just had some time with all of my entire spirit team. That
Yes.
includes elementals, that includes nature spirits, that includes animal spirits, that includes my ancestors, that includes the angels, the non-physical beings that don't even want to come to earth, right? But that are on your side. They like,
It is
I wouldn't even
crusty
do it.
here, girl. Girl, I know it is, and I'm like, thank you, y'all. I know it is crusty down here, but I
You
want
are
to thank
funny.
you. I want to thank you for coming down for a few minutes, girl, because please, I know.
Crusty is a good word. It's a good way to describe it down here. We are special. We need help. That's why I was like, I don't even know how we've been existing in this state of forgetfulness. And like, we got guys, like, there's somebody helping me. I'm like, I need the help, right? So I appreciate that.
Yes,
But you left behind New York and
I did.
you went over to Costa Rica to build some
Hmm.
healing sanctuaries. What I want to ask you, what did you have to release in order to trust that journey, to trust that big leap? Was it, did you have any fear? Of course.
Did I have fear? Yes. Yes, I had fear. I had But Dr. Deb, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no idea what I was doing. I know I was in Costa Rica for a women's retreat. Shout out to Good Moms Bad Choices and the Good Vibe Retreat. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Mila. Okay, I was on their retreat. This was
Mhm.
February 2023. All I know, I'm just retired September. And I was like, okay, when I retire, I'm gonna go on that retreat. I'm gonna go on that retreat. I'm gonna treat myself and I'm gonna go on that retreat. Girl, they announced it in November of 2022. I put down my down deposit, my down payment, and Spirit's like, just pay for the whole thing in full. You got it. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I got my solo villa and I was ready. All I knew is that I had to be in San Jose, Costa Rica on February 2nd, 2023. That's all I know.
Wow.
I
The
was
numbers.
there. They picked me up, and everyone and all the other women, we're on the shuttle. We had to travel 5 hours from San Jose to Playa Negra across the country to the coast. Girl, I'm
Wow.
in the front seat of the shuttle. I'm sitting next to Michelle, and there's this one point where it goes from city to like the jungle.
Mm.
And I'm noticing these leaves. We're going through the mountains. These leaves are huge, huge. And it's the leaves from the same plants that I have inside my 445 square foot Brooklyn apartment. Those Monstera leaves with the holes in it,
Yeah.
they grow that big? What the hell is going on?
Wow.
Girl, we get there to the resort on February 2nd. On February 5th, I had a natal chart reading. Do you know what a natal chart reading is?
No.
That is based on your name, your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth.
Oh, so
It's
like
basic.
astrology?
It's a whole bunch of things. It's astrology,
Okay.
it's astrocartography. They tell you where in the world you're supposed to be living, where you make your money, a whole bunch of things you
Oh,
learn
how
in
do
a
we do
natal chart reading.
that?
Sylvia Ancestral, she is the one who gave me this reading. I will give you her Instagram so you can reach out. Y'all can reach out to her and get this reading done. It's worth it.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting in the bungalow with Sylvia, a woman I'd never met before, a Costa Rican woman. And she says to me, she says, Rikki, what question do you have for me? And I said, well, Sylvia, I only have one question. Is it the right thing if I move to Arizona? And she looks at me and she goes, no. I gasped out loud. I literally clutched my pearls. I sat back on the bed
Mhm.
and she goes to her laptop. She zooms out like this and she goes, I don't know what's here, but if you go here, you're going to be stuck. And I said, oh my goddess. I said, Sylvia, why do I feel like I should move here? And she goes, mm-hmm.
Really?
But shh, don't tell anybody. Only tell people that can help you get back here. Witches need to stir their pot in quiet.
Wow.
That was February 5th, 2023. So I said to her, I said, so you're saying when I get back to New York, I'm gonna move here? She said, mm-hmm. But don't tell anybody. Only tell people that can help you get back here. I walk out of the bungalow. I thank her. I walk out of the bungalow. I walk straight over to Mila, one of the retreat leaders. I said, Mila, I'm moving back here in April when my lease is up. She goes, okay, great. I'll give you Zach's information. He can help you. He can help you find a place. I said,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I get back home to New York February 10th. I text Zach, tell him my deal, tell him I got two babies. I have two fur babies, Carmelo and Jet. And he gives me back a whole list of places. I picked the second one on the list. I put down my deposit for 3 months. I tell my babies, we're moving to Costa Rica. As soon as I walk into the apartment, I said, babies, we're moving to Costa Rica. I
What'd they
write it
do?
down on,
Did they jump up
they
and
just
down?
looked at me.
Alright,
They
Ma.
looked at me.
Okay, Ma.
Okay, I wrote it down on a piece of paper. Rikki, Carmelo, and Jet are moving to Costa Rica, April 2026. Ripped it out, put it on the wall. Wrote it down again. Rikki, Jet, and Carmelo are moving to Costa Rica, April 2023. Ripped it out, put it on the wall, put it all over my 445 square foot. So everywhere I looked, I saw Rikki, Carmelo, and Jet are moving to Costa Rica, April 2023. Girl, after I put down my deposit, then I told my father. Then I told my best friend. Then I told my brother, who was the reason why I was going to move to Arizona. My brother's lived in Arizona for over 20 years. So, in the process of deciding, I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that I had a feeling I should move back.
Mhm.
So I did it. I sold and donated everything. I
Mhm.
put all of my clothes out into the hallway. I lived in a luxury Brooklyn apartment. I put it on we had like a chat for the whole building. I don't even know what the hell it was called, Stack or something like that. I said, come to apartment 431, took a picture of all the stuff in the hallway. Everyone's coming. So how much is this? I said, um, it's free. Take it. You don't want this? You don't want My babies and I hopped, and my father came with me for 1 week, hopped a one-way flight from JFK to San Jose, Costa Rica on April 26, 2023, and have not looked back.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I do. I love that. That is a true fear to freedom leap,
Mhm.
in my opinion. And
Yeah.
you wear everything very well. You do.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. And it's not to say that there hasn't been challenges, because
oh
there have been
yeah.
great challenges. A city girl living in New York City her whole entire life, moving
Yeah.
to the jungle,
Yeah. What was that transition
electricity
like?
goes
Gee.
out. First of all, the electricity, and Spirit was giving this to me in little doses, right? Of showing me what this new life is going to be. So the lights would go out and the bugs. It just And then my mom died. My mom died
Oh,
3 months after I moved. Yes. She died 3 months after I moved
really?
there. Yes. So
Mm,
this journey has been full of challenges, and also um a way to free myself, to continue on this path, to dig myself out, to look myself in the mirror, to
mhm,
get to know myself. Spirit physically had to remove me from the
mhm, mhm,
only home I ever knew, so that
mhm.
I could go within, so I could get quiet. Literally, the lights and electricity going out. What are you going to do?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? The first couple of times it happened when the sun was still out, so that wasn't that bad. But when it went out at like 6 p.m., and my fear started to kick up, it's like Spirit came in and said, you have everything you need. Okay, I've got tea light candles right there. Light a whole bunch, put some in the corner there, put some in the corner there. Get out your laptop, start typing. What are you doing here? Think about a business plan. Business plan. Just start typing. 3 hours go by, Dr. Deb. 3 hours go by. I put a period. I stand up. I'm still in the dark. Put the laptop on the counter. And I said out loud, I said, I make this shit look easy. As soon as I said that, the lights came right back on.
Boom! I love it. You are speaking to my
So,
soul today.
this I had to go in, and now 3 years later, I am so deeply rooted and firm on my divine path. I know who I am now. I
Yeah.
know who I am. And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to be on this side.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that. I do.
Thank you.
That is that if that, I'm speaking to the audience, that should give you some sense of you got this. You can do it too,
Mm.
because I just felt a lot of liberation in what you were saying. If you can do it, so can I. If you can do it, I can do it. So can all of the women who come and stumble upon this recording right here. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
well, I am going to respect your time. We are running out of it a little bit. And so, before we go, I like to, ask everyone this for someone who's listening. It could be a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. But for someone who's listening and that feels really stuck right now, kind of
Mm.
stuck in their own fear. What is one truth, one shift that you can give them that can help them move right into their freedom?
Trust that the path is already before you. Your own individual path is laid out before you, not her path, not his path. You have your own path. You must get quiet And if you must remove yourself from your environment. A tea bag cannot dry out if it's still in the cup of liquid. So if you must remove yourself from the people, places, things, habits, even your children, even your parents, your best friend, then so be it. Because you have a divine path. And all you have to do is decide that this is what you want to do. I am deciding I deserve better. I deserve more of more. And more of more is waiting for me if I just take one small step. All I have to do is put one toe in front of the other and keep going, even if it's scary, even if it's dark, even if it's cold or hot. And remember to ask for support from the divine. Don't ask for what you don't want. Ask for what you want. Make it clear. Make it crystal clear. And make it good. Make it juicy because there's an unlimited amount of overflow. You just have to believe and you just have to choose yourself first and keep going.
Ashe for that. Ashe. 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 Thank you. Goodness. I'm moving kind of fast. And so I'm forgetting things, but that really sealed the deal. But I cannot leave here without speaking about these numbers. So I want the audience to listen. Go look up Rikki Van Brackle, Rikki Van Brackle on Amazon, and get her books. Okay, get the ancestral numbers books, because Rikki, when numbers started first coming to me, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. And it was not enough for me to make us think about it, but it was enough for me to notice, like, oh, I saw it. I keep seeing 111, or I keep seeing numbers in triple, a lot of 1111s and 111, and a lot of
Mhm.
222s, right? So I was like, okay, I just keep seeing these numbers. And so I didn't think a big thing about it. And then they started coming maybe a year later, a little bit more for me to notice and to go to my daughter and ask. So I have a 31-year-old daughter. She'll be 31 next month. And
Okay.
she was the one that gave me permission to pull the oracle cards, and she taught me how to call and access my ancestors. So, of course, again, we talked about being conditioned through Christianity, but here my
Mm.
daughter is, I know she was actually chose me and was born to help me in some sort of beautiful way. So I'm like, she can't be lying about it. So she would pull my oracle cards and tell me things that she could not have known that I was thinking about or that was happening in my life. And so I went to her about a year later and I said, listen, these numbers keep showing up for me. And I don't know what that means. And she was like, oh, okay, get Cal Gray's Angel Numbers book. So that's when she actually had the book, and she told me, okay, well, these are numbers, like your guides, angels are trying to get in touch with you. And I'm like, just think about this. I'm not conditioned this way, right? So I'm
Mhm.
conditioned because I've forgotten. I've been colonized and taken away from what is actually inherently mine, right?
Woo!
These rituals and
Talk
customs. And
about it,
so,
Dr. Deb.
yes. And so I'm like, okay, so they're numbers. So then maybe a year later, they started coming a lot faster. And I started, and so now, Rikki, I honestly, if I see a number that is what you would consider like a regular number, so I would say 98% of the time I see numbers in mirror form, always in mirror form. So 606, 616, 323, always in mirror. I see them triple digits, 4 digits. It doesn't matter. These numbers are like a part of my life. So I was just like, at one point, I was not comfortable because I was like, it was just happening so fast and I wasn't comfortable. And I asked a friend and she said, well, you could tell them to kind of slow down on the numbers until you get an understanding. So I was like, quit with the numbers. This is like crazy for me. I don't know what it is. But now every time I see a number, the numbers, I just smile and I know that my guides they let me know when I went into my Akashic records that this is their way and the way of the universe and everything
Mm,
around me to let me know that I'm on the right path, that I am
mm.
supported, that I'm not alone. And so that really makes me feel so happy. So a lot of people do talk about numbers. So if you just give a little bit about your book, the numbers, if someone is experiencing the numbers and how they can honor it. So now I honor that like, oh my God, like I'm so excited when I see the numbers, even, in cars and airports, like wherever I am, I don't see regular numbers anymore. It's always mirrored ascending, triple digits, four digits, and things like that. So it's a beautiful thing for me. What do you say about that? You can speak about your book too.
Okay, so my book, Ancestor Angel Numbers, was a message that came in to me from spirit. I was minding my business in my hammock, and spirit's like, so you know how you have your alarm set for all these magical times? I'm like, yes. Well, you need to tell people about this. You need to write a book. And I'm like, okay. So here comes the book with all these numbers. And once again, this is part of my method. As you can see, when we first started, my alarm went off for 11:11. My alarm goes off every single day at not just 11:11, other times 3:22, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. And I have certain affirmations that go along with that. These are times for me to stop, thank the universe, check in with myself, and to sing a little song, do a little dance. So this book is guidance for those who may be seeing numbers and don't know what they are, what they mean. This book is filled with their definitions, rituals that you could do if you so choose, their meanings, and just a fun way to connect with the other side. Now, like you said, this is how spirit speaks. They speak through numbers. That is like what they do. They speak through numbers, they speak through music frequencies, they speak through colors, through sounds, so many different ways. And like you said, for a moment, you were seeing all these numbers and you felt a little overwhelmed and you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. They speak through the animals. Thank you, Bird, for that confirmation. So, and you can tell your spirit team, hey, slow down. You are allowed to set these boundaries because, like you said earlier, they really want to connect with you. They have messages for you. They want to tell you you're on the right path, or look out for this, or make the left here, go straight there. So they will send you these messages through numbers. So this guide is a beginner's guide. We're actually revising it right now. Shout out to my book editor, Samantha Mother Lovin Thornhill. So we will have a new edition coming out shortly. But this is a beginner's guide to numbers and magic and rituals that you can just tap into yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So
spirit.
you can pick that up on Amazon like I
Amazon,
did.
yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I will have all of that information in the show notes. I just want to say this has just been a delightful conversation. You are delightful. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to stop in and just spend some time with me or share your time with me and share your space with me. And you're just a little ways away from me. I had no idea, but that is just magical in itself, that you are here.
Yes.
And so
I'd like
before
to
we
pull a card if I could pull a card for the
you
collective.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. We are using the African African Goddess Rising Oracle by Abiola Abrams. Love Abiola Abrams. And they also want me to pull a card from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. You know, they're mentioning to me moving your body. They're showing me hula hooping. They're showing me dancing, walking. Just think of, just circles, right? That's all sacred geometry. Even when you wind your body, that's creating frequencies, patterns that ripple out farther than the eye can see. Spirit, what messages do you have for the collective of the Fear to Freedom Project? Please deliver the messages for the highest good and the highest good only. We have Goddess Iset. She
I
is the
love it.
goddess of surrender. It's really
Surrender.
important. It's really important for you to decide to surrender all that does not serve you. We can walk around with a suitcase full of
Mm,
bullshit from when we were 2 months old, and when we were 3 years old, and 10 years old, and 22, and 27, and 37, and 40 years old, and 55 years old. And we could also walk around and with stuff that doesn't even belong to us. You open up this suitcase and it's like, what the this this isn't even mine. And I've been carrying this around for 43 years. What the hell? So it's very important for you to take inventory and to release all that does not serve you. You're worthy of freedom. You're
yes.
worthy of freedom. This is card number 44. This is card
Yes.
number 44. Thank you, angel numbers. 44, that is a number of stability. Fours, if you think of the legs of a table, stable,
Mm-hmm.
grounded.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Thank you, Spirit. Let's go over to the sacred geometries activation. When Spirit brought hula hooping into my life last year, I didn't even know how to hula hoop.
I remember that
And
childhood memory.
I never even hula hooped as a child, never even owned
Really?
one. Never. I was out there playing in the dirt, riding bikes, roller skating, roller blading. I never hula hooped. But last year, I was at the first Remembrance Dance. I host an event called Remembrance Dance with my business partner, Serena, DJ Serena Ancestra. And I'm outside. It's raining. And Spirit said, pick up that hula hoop right there. And I said, Spirit, I don't know how to hula hoop. Spirit said, just try. Just pick it
Yeah.
up. And I said, okay, fine. I put down my sacred instruments. I was outside with my tambourines. I picked up the hula hoop. I spun it around. And girl, it never stopped. It
What?
never, my mouth was open, my eyes were closed, and I could hear the ancestors rejoicing. And I felt hands going up and down, up and down, up and down. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? So since July of last year, I have been hula hooping and I've just been getting better and better and better. This is amazing. But my
That's
point
good.
is, thank you, sacred geometry. It's more than just a hula hoop. It's sacred
Yeah.
geometry. It's womb healing. Okay.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's medicine. So we're using the Sacred Geometry Activations deck, and the throat chakra card came out number 5. Number 5, if you
Wow.
notice this blue, if you notice this blue, if you notice this blue. Spirit is asking us to be seen and be heard. Use your throat chakra. Speak your truth rooted in love. Speak your truth rooted in love. When I first began on my free woman path, I would wear blue glasses, blue color therapy glasses, because Spirit said, I need to open my throat chakra. So I would be very thoughtful of the color blue. I would wear blue clothing. At one time, all my clothes were blue. And I would wear
Mm,
my blue color therapy glasses to open my throat chakra. It is very important for us to speak our truth, to tell the truth, tell our stories, and that leads us to the path of freedom as well. Card number
yes.
5,
Yes.
change.
Yes.
Change, change, change when you tell the truth. Tell
Yes.
your story.
That's beautiful. I love it. It's all for me to surrender. This is a beautiful
Mhm.
way for us to surrender, just let go. Like, don't try to control anything because you're really not in control. It's already there for you. So just release the control. Let the ego like just come down
Mhm.
with surrender. And I love that the throat chakra came out. I've been healing that and using my voice to share to help elevate the
Mhm.
consciousness of whoever comes here. And so I'm grateful for that. Thank you for that pull. And I just got to give a shout out to my coach, my mentor, my sister, my guide, Miss Abiola Abrams. Listen, she has been guiding me. She has been here to the podcast a couple times. I am on a sister girl basis with my sister, and she has beautiful decks. That deck right there, the Goddess
Mhm.
Rising deck, is the first deck
Yes.
that I use to connect with my
Likewise.
ancestors. And I mean, good.
Likewise.
Listen, girl, my ego was like, let me tell you what my ego did. My ego was like, this shit can't be true. Okay. So I'm going to try to manipulate the cards. I started
Mhm.
trying to manipulate the cards, and the cards would come
Mhm.
back out with the same message. And I was just like, what in the world
Mhm.
is this? How does this happen? Yeah. So that was the first deck. She just released The Faces of Oshun. That's her
Yes,
latest
she
deck.
did.
Ancestors,
She
Secrets of
did.
the Ancestors is a beautiful deck. I use that deck all the time.
Mhm.
That is how I connect with my ancestors. So you can find those also on Amazon by the great Abiola Abrams. So thank you
Yes.
so much for sharing your time with me today. I love you so much.
Love
And
you too, Dr. Deb.
yes, it's just so good to be on the path and to connect with our sisters and brothers that are on the path too, like my Earth Soul family. I consider you that. You are welcome to come back here to the Fear to Freedom Project any time. It is a
Yes.
standing invitation. And so, as we close this conversation today, I want
Mhm.
everyone to remember freedom is not just the absence of fear. It is the courage to return to yourself, to your own sovereignty, to express your own divinity, to be free. Freedom is what we all have as our birthright. Healing is not
Mhm.
about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you were before survival convinced you that you were somebody else. Okay?
Yes.
So thank you for joining us in this sacred conversation. Until the next time, family, peace and love. Thank you so much,
Mhm.
Rikki. Thank you.
Thank you.